What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Today I just busted the prime 1A $1,100 buy-in, and guess what? Because I busted the prime, I get the prize to play up here. They're doing a 2550 creator live stream cash game. I'm gonna hop near the tail end of it, so about 2 hours to play and figure out how to cause some havoc in the streets here. So Brad Owen, I think Andrew Nemi is gonna be playing, and we're gonna try to run it up. Some 2550 action. This ballroom looks so sick. That's where I just busted, somewhere over there. But we get to play here now, and let's go. Let's gamble. We're hopping into the 2550 creator game late. I started in with a $20,000 buy-in, and just to make note, the stack sizes are wrong throughout the stream, as I think the stream accounted for $10,000 buy-in. Anyways, with 20K in my stack, let's get into the action with only 2 hours to play. We're gonna splash things up with sixes under the gun. I put it on the straddle to 100. We get the hijack raised to $250, small blind makes the call, and of course with the pair, let's set mine and call. Going to a flop which comes queen 3 deuce rainbow, and action checks to me here, and I decided to do something a little silly, one would call it. I bet $50, min one big blind bet into the middle, and I don't know what I'm doing here at this point. Just kind of testing the waters and splashing around, and well, the hijack senses some weakness and raises to $350. Small blind folds, and well, I don't think this really changes a whole lot of action, to be honest with you. If I checked in the hijack player bet on this board, I was going to call regardless, so I'm going to throw another $300 and make the call. The turn comes the 7 of spades, brings in a backdoor flush draw, and once again, I decided to do something a little silly and throw out $50 again. Don't ask me why. I'm here to splash. I'm here to give action, and yeah, $50 we go into the middle, and my opponent raises this time to $1,050, and at this point, I just have to give my opponent some credit and just fold. Little did I know it was the incorrect fold, so well played by my opponent, sensing a lot of weakness, didn't fall for my $50 raise, and went for it, so he takes this one down with his bluff. Moving along, I pick up King Jack of Diamonds in the hijack. This time, a pretty good hand, to be honest. Brad, under the gun, raises to $150. The $100 straddle is not on anymore. And I decided to 3-bet to $600, about 4 times his bet. Anyways, action folds to Brad, and he's in here to make the call. And we're going heads up to a flop, which comes 10-7 deuce, 2 hearts, and a club. Brad checks it over to me here, and I think this is a pretty good board to bet. I have overcards, I have backdoor straight draws, I have lots of possibilities, so I bet 700, and I get a superior hand to fold, which is always great news. Folding his ace high. Nice to win this pot after punting the last hand, and we're moving right along. A couple minutes later, I pick up ace 5 of hearts in early position. There's an under the gun straddle to $100, and I put in the late $200 straddle. You know, I'm not going to shy away from making the game bigger and putting on some action, so I'm in the $200 straddle. Nemi in the cutoff raises to $500. The button makes the call now, and action folds to me, looking down at a hand that is going to be spicy to play, and I choose the path of violence. I mean, you know, like I said, I only have 2 hours to splash things up, and why not make it more? I raise to $2,500. Nemi in the cutoff gets out of the way, but the button does make the call here. He's ready to play some hands, and we're going to see a flop of King, Queen, 10, 2 clubs, and a diamond. Well, I have, I guess, a draw. I have a draw. That's about it. Broadway draw here on a board that I think could actually help my opponent a lot. I decided to fire out money in the middle regardless and throw out $1,500, and my opponent snap calls, which is not what I love to see, honestly. You know, when you see this board texture like this, I kind of want my opponent to fold, but here we are going to navigate a turn, which is the 8 of clubs, brings in the flush draw. I'm out of position. I decided to slow down and check here, especially considering how short my opponent's stack is. There's, I think, like about a pot-sized bet left or something like that. So action goes check, check, luckily. So I don't think my opponent has a flush. And let's see what the river brings. It's the deuce of hearts, complete brick. And here we go. I've got ace high in a dream. My opponent checked back the turn. And what are we going to do here? It's not going to be a check, okay? You don't watch this channel because I give up on bluffs. I'm going full throttle, pedal to the metal. I jam all in for about $4,600 effective, putting my opponent in this pretty tough spot, and one that I like to see because he has only third pair. But he doesn't snap fold, though. He makes me sweat it out, and this is probably going to be one of the biggest pots of the night, considering everyone's stack sizes and how ridiculous my $200 straddle made this pot seem so big. Anyways, this would be a really big hand, and if my opponent finds the hero call, then I am going to be stuck probably indefinitely for the entire rest of the day. But then my opponent lets it go, luckily. Good for me. And we're playing a show one kind of game, so I let my opponent pick, and he picks the 5 of hearts, which is a very spicy card for him to see. Obviously knows that I bluffed him off his hand. It's nice to get one through in a $13,000 pot. Guys, WPT Global is doing some really fun things, and I can't wait to tell you about them right now because later this year, in a couple months, from March 31st to April 6th, there's a thing happening called the WPT Voyage, or you could say Voyage if you want to be fancy. It's basically a poker cruise that is going to be for 7 days from March 31st to April 6th. And there's going to be a bunch of tournaments. There's going to be golf tournaments. There's going to be pickleball, and it's going to be adult-only cruise that is just filled with poker. And you can qualify to get a package on there on WPT Global starting right now, actually. And you can qualify from up to like $5, $10, $50 satellites to win a $12,000 package that will give you the free cruise, a free travel, a free $5,000 main event buy-in that somehow has $1 million guarantee in this. So it's all available on WPT Global. Come and hop in with me in the streets. I'll be playing basically for a while to try to get one of these seats here. So hoping to see you guys on the cruise. Use my code Rampage on WPT Global for a deposit bonus on top of all the fun stuff that they offer. Unfortunately, to answer all the questions, it's not available for people in the US, but if you're outside the US, like Mexico, Canada, Japan, all the other fun countries that WPT Global is available in, you can hop in and play. Use the link down in the description below. And I'd love to see you guys qualify for this WPT Voyage cruise happening. And if you do, send me if you do qualify, send me the screenshot of you winning on Instagram, and I'm happy to repost you. So I'll see you guys there. Looking forward to a fun time of online gambling. I'll see you in the streets. Let's keep the momentum going. You know, we got one bluff through. Why not another one? I pick up 10-9 offsuit in the cutoff and raise it up to $150. Natural 9, as some would call it. Nimi in the small line makes the call, and we're going to a flop of Jack 3 Deuce 2 hearts. He checks it over to me here, and with 2 undercards, I debate on betting or checking, and I decided to just check this one. You know, let's see a turn, which is the ace of diamonds. And this is one I'm not going to be checking anymore, because when Nimi checks it once again to me, I throw out $300, about a pot-sized bet, trying to ramp up the pressure here on a card that should favor me. Granted, we don't know that he has an ace because he makes the call for 300, and now we're off to a river, which is the Queen of Spades. Nimi checks one more time, and I think this is another really good card for me to bluff on because I am stubborn and I want to go 2 for 2 with bluffs. I decide to blast, overbet the size of the pot to $1,500, and it's not going to work, is it, Nimi? With ace-10 offsuit, he goes nowhere, and he wins with top pair. So nice hand to Andrew. Nice call. Always nice to give some money back to the person who was the inspiration to starting this channel to begin with. Moving right along, because I lost that hand due to a bluff, we're going to put on the $200 straddle once again. I'm in an early position, and action folds to the Undergun player original straddler, who raises things up to $650, and with 10-7 offsuit, what am I going to do here? Am I supposed to put in the $200 straddle and fold? Absolutely not. Not going to happen. So we're going to go to a flop, which comes Jack 8-5, 2 spades, and a club. Here, sitting with a gut shot straight draw. My opponent throws out a bet of $750. I'm going to call because I have a straight draw, and maybe if I hit it, then good things would happen. So we're off to a turn, which is the deuce of hearts. Basically, just not the card I wanted to see. Very good for my opponent when he fires out $3,500 in the middle, and I get the hell out of there with my 10-7 offsuit. That's what you get for playing 10-7 off, because I ran into aces here in a $6,000 pot. And we're moving right along to the very last hand of the session, the last notable one at that. I have ace-10 offsuit. I'm in early position here. There's a straddle to $100, and I raise it to $300. Small blind puts in a 3-bet to $700 here, and you know, it's only $400 more to call. It's very, very friendly, so I'm going to see a flop here for $400 more. We're going to go heads up, and the flop is ace, deuce, 3, rainbow. My opponent checks it over to me here, and I'm a little bit suspicious of this because maybe my opponent can have aces and be slow playing, but I'm going to check this one back because my 10 kicker isn't so great. Now going to a turn, which is the king of hearts. My opponent checks once again, so now I just must suspect that I have the best hand here. I want to get a very small pocket pair or something like that to call. So those hands don't like the ace or king. I'm going to throw out a very small teaser bet of $200. Super friendly, keeping the pot small. My opponent makes the call for 200, milking him in. The river is the 7 of diamonds. He checks for a third time. Once again, got to expect my ace to be good, but I don't know how much my opponent can call. So let's throw out 4 black chips, signaling $400. And my opponent hums and haws and ends up calling with pocket 10s. So I'm going to scoop this pot up worth about $2,700. Very lucky for me to hit that ace when I was clearly dominated, but hey, it's better to be lucky than good. And here we are, scooping the last pot of the night, and we turn into the final graphics. I only lost about $475. Felt like I could have lost a lot more, especially since I bluffed all in for $4,600. But here we are, 2 hours of play, losing less than 10 big blinds. Very short session, but had a lot of fun doing it. All right, ending the session. It's about 2-3 hours later. I lost money, as a heads up, as one would imagine. For one reason or another, it seemed like the drink that Andrew Nemi got me, this old-fashioned, didn't eat all day. On a scale of 1 to 10 of how drunk I am, I'm at least a good 6. Anyways, in for 20K, out for 19,650 or 19,450. One of those two numbers. I honestly don't even know at this point, but one of those two, give or take $200. Fun time. 2 hours in, I showed up late, didn't get that many hands in, but tried to make a splash and get enough content for the vlog how I saw fit. So I tried, did some bluffing, did some value betting, and overall lost money, as one does when they splash around. So fun 25-50 stream, and a lot more bigger games to come. I will not be this drunk when I play the bigger games. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Later.